Hi, everyone. My name is Boye Colade, co-founder and president of the Future Party.
And I'm Chris Sawtelle, co-founder and CEO of CrossCheck Studios.
And welcome to the Future Forecast, a podcast where we explore the intersection between business, technology, and entertainment. We've done the research so you don't have to. We're here to give our opinions about news topics and have a thoughtful discussion on the shifting landscape of our culture. What do you think of that?
That was great.
Love it.
That was just the pinnacle. I do feel selfish. I feel like we introduced ourselves and just let Paul just sit in the
We were going to get to Paul.
Paul, Paul's here. Who's Paul? Hey,
Okay,
Paul.
We've got a guest today. Hey, Paul. Paul's one of the co-founders of the Future Party as well. He's also
Friend of the
producer.
fam. You know him from season 1. Back again for season 2.
Thank you.
How you doing, Paul?
Long-time listener.
Longtime listener, short-term provocateur. Let's not remind him about our debates on the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
You know, I heard you talking about that the other day. Got things to say, but
Boye did not come to your defense.
no, he did not. It's fine.
Chris was right. So,
We'll see.
I do remember that actually. Paul was very adamant that Vision Pro was going to be a success, and it was not.
Depends on how you define success, Boye.
Guys, time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah, time has told us. Anyways, welcome, Paul. Let's dive in. Today we're talking about a handful of things. We're talking about Spotify and concert tickets. We're talking about prediction markets and reality TV and AI replicas working instead of you. But before we dive in, we should just have a chat. Especially, I'm really curious, guys, your opinions. It feels like the film industry is having a little bit of a resurgence. We've got Obsession crushing it in the box office. Backrooms is about to blow up this weekend. IMAX is for sale. How do we feel? I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Shout out Cooper and Curry. We've done it previously on the last 2 pods. I think they don't need any introduction now at this point. If you're not familiar, That's a Bad Idea. Curry and Cooper from That's a Bad Idea have now made Obsession, the film. Go see it if you haven't seen it yet. It's projected to it's on track to make $100 million. Biggest headline from this weekend of the movie, if you guys haven't seen that, not Kendall. Who's the other Kardashian? Her sister.
Courtney?
Kylie.
Yeah.
Kylie, literally, I'm scrolling through Instagram and the headline was, Kylie's obsessed with Obsession. I was like, who really? Really? That's what Complex wants to cover. Like they want to
Awesome.
flag her social post. I was pretty annoyed.
28%, up 28% from last week, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
A rare.
I thought you were going to say 28% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, whoa, no.
It's a rare up on the following weekend, which is great. And apparently it's the most profitable movie of the year. It was filmed for under $1 million, and it's about to make $100 million, which is bonkers.
Yeah, and I mean, just saying, you know, even though it's a big franchise, Star Wars also released, and everybody thought it was kind of not going to perform, and it overperformed with
Did it
over
really?
$100 million
Wow.
this weekend, which domestically, which is huge.
But that's underperforming for Star Wars, though.
But for a TV show to turn into a movie is
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
but in general, you're right, Boy. It is underperforming for Star Wars, but $1 billion in Grogu merch. That's you know.
I'm
It
still
kind of.
calling-
I hate saying it. I hate saying that my reaction to it is the guttural sigh. But
Right.
as someone that's a big Star Wars fan, I had no desire to go see it in theater.
I did, but
You did?
Yeah, I think Boy.
I saw it.
Yeah.
It was good. It felt like a long episode of the TV show, though. But look,
Do you feel robbed because of that?
No. I love world building. I love The Mandalorian. So the question is, will people who aren't as familiar with the TV show like it as a standalone? That is
when
the
I was
question.
walking out, it is the question, and I was walking out of the IMAX screening that I went to.
That was good. I liked that. I liked that.
And the people, I overheard people saying, "Oh, I'd never seen the show, but that was really fun." And so maybe it worked for others, But yes, was that a good segue into just chatting about IMAX?
That was a fantastic segue. Wow.
Yes.
Wow, I'm blown away. Also, though, was it a screening that you had to pay for?
AMC A-list, baby.
Oh wow. I only asked that question in the event that it was like a screener, like because you were part of like an industry
I
thing.
wish, but
Only because you commented on the fact that other people had like watched it that were like, I had not seen the show. So I was more curious. It was like,
yeah, totally. Listen, we go to a fair share of screenings, so fair question. But
yeah, that's cool.
Before we talk about IMAX, so I did want to, like, speaking of obsession, I've been shouting on the rooftops about Backrooms for literally almost a year. I just saw a report that it's predicted to make 40 to 50 million opening weekend, which I'm like really pumped on. Do you guys think you'll see
huge.
it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I am nervous Kane can do no wrong. Kane Pixels, director and debatably arbiter of the Backrooms lore.
Parsons?
Kane
Pixels is his nickname.
His YouTube, Kane Pixels. Yes,
Kane
yes,
Pixels.
yes. Okay. Yeah.
Pardon.
YouTube.
When you're a founder of a Gen Z media company and you represent talent from social, you look at their social handles. 17-year-old director, youngest of them all. I'm just nervous. Like, he can do no wrong, but I am nervous. Like the way in which they cast it. When I think about the Backrooms that he has crafted, at least from the short form, I don't want to say I'm perplexed, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous about how deep they go into the lore and how much creative freedom he had around it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see.
Did you see the trailer?
Yeah.
Did you see the trailer?
I did. That's why it to me, that's why I'm nervous, or maybe they didn't want to give. Maybe there's secrets they don't want to give away. Maybe they don't want to expose it too much to people that are not familiar with the Backrooms.
So I've watched a couple of his shorts, and the world definitely expands. So you see some of that alluding to the larger world in the trailer, like the guys with the hazmat suits, right?
Yeah.
Also, what I loved, I'm so happy they did this, was when it went into camcorder footage, right?
Does it?
It does. And so I think that is going to be like the moment when we're like, okay, this is the Backroom. So it's like, it feels like a very good tie-in to the original found footage vibe and a premium screening experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
See, I did the opposite of you, Boye. Like, it seems like you've watched all the trailers and you've dove deep into it. And I saw one trailer and I was like, I'm in. I don't need to see any more.
Got it.
So I'm ready for whatever experience is gonna.
You've seen a short though. You've seen a short.
I have seen the short. Yes,
yeah.
I have.
I begged you to see the short.
I watched it. It was great. Yeah, no. Thank you, Boye.
So then it did its job. Yeah. I'm just a purist, and there's a little bit more of a comedic / scary.
But early reactions seem positive. A24 held a screening a couple weeks ago. I had a couple friends who went to it. They
cool.
really had a good time. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait.
Should we talk IMAX quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I just want to say that this is I love IMAX. I grew up watching it. I remember when IMAX changed over to making films or showing films. They went from documentaries and whatnot to actually showing the movies. I think my first one was Matrix Reloaded.
Same.
Same. Yeah. And so,
that's crazy.
Yeah. That was awesome. And so like this premium large format has just taken over. And I think as people as theaters continue to struggle and they become more of a spectacle opportunity for people, the premium large format has actually risen because it's giving people an extra excuse to go to the theater, or extra reason, I should say, right? And so this is all really exciting news. The question is, will it be a good thing or bad thing for the industry?
God, I just remember Universal City looking up like this. For those that can't see it, just like I was in the worst seats possible. I was in the front row, and we actually dressed up as Neo. Not gonna lie. Like, wow. Just for the sake of like, why not? Shits and gigs, like with theater kids. and just like doing the thing, just like that. But it was so good, so worth it, and it was totally sold out. My not counter, but what I would say is something that will be a cautionary tale is iPic.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that being here's this premium, you can have this. If you're not familiar with the iPic, it's kind of like the idea of you get popcorn, but then a server will come
like
to
Alamo
you and
Draft
give you a
House.
Yeah, it's like a
Yes.
restaurant in a theater.
but a premium version, like Alamo Draft House. Not throwing any shade at Alamo, but Alamo's price points were significantly cheaper. Whereas iPic, it's like you get a Snuggie, you get a layback chair.
But is the experience like? Do you find that iPic experience good? Because personally, as fun as it is to go with friends and get food, and I liked the food. I thought it was pretty good. I'm like so ADD when it comes to theaters, and it's loud. People are clinking. The sound isn't always cranked because then you're trying to like talk to the server over it.
Yeah.
And I found more times than not, it was a more distracting experience. And I wasn't like in the movie as much as if I'm like locked in a theater.
Yeah.
Although it's a fun, comfy experience. you know?
Yeah. Fair to say that they're apples and oranges. I didn't mean to say that. Be careful.
Yeah.
IMAX is is teetering. It's more like it'll be very. I'm curious to see if it's a trend.
Yeah.
Or if it's one like iPic. I feel like was a trend.
Yeah.
In the sense that it was like, oh wow, if you don't have a at-home theater,
Sure.
here you can have the home theater experience with
Right.
your friends.
So here are my thoughts, and boy, I'd love to get your POV as well, because I know you and I both love the IMAX experience, and we've gone to countless amount of movies together, and I'll make the trek to City Walk here in Los Angeles, which is a mission, to say the least, but it's well worth it. I think IMAX does a really great job of quality control for the most part. They have what they call like the FOMAX, which are the the newer IMAX theaters in the AMCs and the Regals that aren't necessarily that original full 70 millimeter scope, that feel just like smaller in size. But for the most part, they keep the quality really high. And I just worry if a theater chain buys IMAX, I will have less worry about this. But if a studio does it, I would worry about it feeling gimmicky and them just using it as a sales tool, which they do to a certain extent. But right now it's like a stamp of quality or a stamp of like, hey, we're creating this experience for you. Like, I probably would have liked Mandalorian Grogu less if I had seen it outside of an IMAX. But every time it went full frame into the covered the screen, I was like, whoa, spaceships, aliens.
That's a really good point. I think that's a fantastic point to think through. If it's owned by a theater or if it's owned by a chain outside of studio, and this is a business, they are more inclined to focus on selling tickets, to doing everything they can to push butts and seats.
We're seeing it already with Disney and Infinity Vision. I mean, that's a straight, as far as we can tell, gimmick play.
Right.
So-
where we've seen mistakes in the past were Netflix in the Palisades.
Yeah.
You see that Netflix took over a theater in the Palisades, and a lot of times those theaters aren't sold out. There's no one really pushing to craft a special moment to justify why people are there. If anything, it's just real estate to own, to just push the idea of Netflix.
I think it's just an Oscar play, but that's just me.
I think the thing to remember about IMAX is it's not just the viewing experience, but it's the creative and technical aspect of actual filming.
Mm-hmm.
And, I look at someone like Chris Nolan, who, if anything, has single-handedly made IMAX successful, is, as long as he's around and he's still shooting his films, Odyssey, Oppenheimer, in IMAX, whoever buys this is making a great play, because the audience wants to see this larger than life experience, but the creatives, the directors are embracing it, right? There was a meme going around about Ryan Coogler talking about IMAX in different things, right? And again, he shot a good part of Sinners in IMAX. So that's an aspect of this too. It's not just the exhibition viewing experience. It's the cameras. It's the filmmaking that really is a movement here. Even Netflix,
Right.
they're dipping their toes in, their initial way to do that was IMAX screens, right?
Right.
So I think it's an interesting move. I'm excited to see who might buy it. But I think IMAX is definitely here to stay. I think it would be a smart buy for any buyer.
I agree. And to your point about IMAX screens, it's worth noting that after the Narnia conversation you had, it was announced that the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel, The Adventures of Cliff Booth, or prequel, I should say, is it a sequel or prequel? Anyway, the follow-up to that movie is going to IMAX screens.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. So now it's making a theatrical run, limited theatrical run, which is awesome. It's Netflix listening and kind of being open to change their tune, right? Theatrical is important, and I think they're starting to understand that.
But if I'm not mistaken, no, IMAX, the IMAX camera units, or the team behind the camera unit or the production, there are heavy incentives for directors to utilize said cameras. They offset the budgets. They say if you use this, we'll spend X amount of money towards your film. Not to suggest, who wouldn't want to use an IMAX camera? But in and of itself, these are heavy duty cameras that require their camera operators have to be utilized, or they're approved
Special
ops.
rigs, things like that. But I think the question is, if they get bought, will R&D continue, right? They made a whole new camera for Chris Nolan for the Odyssey. That was quieter, a bit smaller. If they continue down this path, I just hope it's not like you get an IMAX release, and then we're back in the 2000s with every movie being 3D. That's what I don't want to happen.
But see, that's what I think that's what I'm afraid that will happen, because if we're looking at the announcements and we're looking at all the things, if we're looking at all the what's being signaled in the press, this very well could be, if they're already trying to sell, this is your get while the getting's good, the brand is hot, buy before it has its downturn, and the cycle repeats itself.
Is that your hot take?
My hot take is that I'm not trying to suggest that IMAX is going to fail.
No.
I'm just simply saying that I think that what we're witnessing right now from a sales perspective, or the model, the sales model, I would assume, you can say if IMAX is the Apple Pro, if we're looking at Apple products, if you have your iMac, you have your Apple Plus, and then you have
You have the
Pro.
MacBook Neo now.
Yeah, and that's the I don't want to say the cheaper version,
Yeah.
but it's the Neo. So the Neo's the cheap version. Then you have your standard issue, and then you have the MacBook Pro
In the air.
and the Air. But the Pro, if that is our IMAX, the whole thing about IMAX is that they say, if you really want to watch the way it was intended to watch, it was the whole Sinners campaign. If you want to watch it the way it's intended to be watched, you have to go see it at IMAX.
Yeah.
Right? At which point, if you're a cinephile, you're like, I'm going to get my butt in that seat. But then it's that sales pitch of listen, if you can't make it to an IMAX, we're going to give you the lesser grade version. You can.
Yeah.
It's still
There's
a great
just not enough
product.
screens.
Yeah.
It's sold out for weeks and weeks and weeks. Good luck finding a ticket to the Odyssey IMAX opening month.
Right. But to that point, the scarcity. If we're looking at the AP and Swatch collaboration, we talk about merchandise in that capacity. The idea that it's a limited run or a limited X amount of time. At what point does that lose its muster?
If there are any studio executives out here listening to this, please don't oversaturate the market.
Yeah.
Please.
We'll see. I think at the end of the day, if I'm a buyer, I see the opportunity in building more theaters, in my opinion. But in Chris's favorite slang term, time will tell. So let's talk about Spotify. So Spotify launched a program called Reserved that identifies their most dedicated listeners and holds concert tickets for them. So there's no fees from Spotify, and they partnered with Ticketmaster to do it. So this was announced May 21st, and it's a new program again for their premium subscribers. Spotify identifies artists with the most listeners based on stream shares and other in-app activity, as well as proximity to tour dates. And then those fans receive an email and in-app notification with a window of roughly 1 day or so to purchase up to 2 tickets before the general sale. The purchase is completed on a ticketing partners platform, a la Ticketmaster, and rollout begins this summer. What do we think?
Epic.
You think it's
I'm
epic?
just shocked that we didn't. No, well, we can talk about how epic Paul thinks it is. I'm just shocked that the lead-in on this wasn't anyone's feelings on the change of the logo. Because candidly, I think it's trash.
It's not. Let them have some fun.
That's fun?
They're gonna change it back.
Are they?
Yeah, it's just. It was just celebrating their like anniversary or whatever.
It became a meme.
Yeah,
Other
well,
people were
but,
doing it, like disco-fying their logos and everything.
Yeah, they're gonna change it back. It's not permanent.
Other people are jumping off the building. I'll jump off too. No, it's great.
Well,
I
that's
think.
everyone in
We've
culture,
talked
so.
in the past about brands like embracing failure, and many people thought the logo was lame, and I think embracing it in this moment, it's kitschy and fun enough where for a limited time embracing it, I think is a win for them. But if they keep it forever, then I'd be like, what are you guys doing?
They're not keeping it forever. It was just celebrating like their anniversary or whatever it was, whatever they were celebrating. It's a festive disco.
None of us even know.
I mean, to be honest, I saw it and was like, oh, that's fun. And put it away and didn't think about it.
Oh,
again.
really? See, I sat with it. I was like, oh, that's what they did? I'm being so, like, I looked at it. I was like, oh,
See,
okay.
What would you want?
here's the thing, guys. When you use Apple Music, you don't really care what Spotify does, because Apple Music's so superior and everything. So
Yeah, it's superior in one thing, and that's the audio quality. But
anyways,
I use
concert
Apple Music as well.
tickets.
yeah,
Here's where I find it interesting. Right now, there's a term called blue dot fever, and for those who don't know, blue dot fever is this thing happening where artists, when you go to, they're canceling their tours because essentially people aren't going to see them. And the whole slang came from going into Ticketmaster and looking at the venue and seeing a lot of blue dots, meaning there's a lot of seats available. So this is interesting, in my opinion, in a world where there's some issues, for lack of better terms, with touring, where a platform like Spotify could actually better target fans and concert goers to actually go see their favorite artists touring. It seems like a smart play, in my opinion.
yeah, and boy, I think that's one side of the coin. My mind actually went to, well, it's so hard to get concert tickets now. You go on Ticketmaster or AXS and you're in the queue, and then by the time you get out of the queue, everything's gone, right?
Yeah.
Now, as a fan, sometimes I'm really frustrated. Like, I never win those random drawings, right? Like, go see Paul McCartney at the Forum, like, or at the Fonda, or like get Coldplay tickets, or like whatever it is. These huge artists, I probably spend more money and more time than the majority of the people, and I feel like I never get picked for those moments. And it's frustrating when it happens 10, 15 times or whatever it may be. This seems like a really great way to connect fans and give them the opportunity to experience that in a low friction way.
So you've never seen Sir Paul McCartney perform?
No, I have one time, but like not SoFi Stadium with 70,000 plus other people, right?
Yeah. I was just trying to help plug you getting
I love
Paul McCartney.
Oh, I will
tickets.
gladly take Paul McCartney tickets
Wow.
any day of the
Paul,
week.
you brought up a good, interesting point, which as you were speaking, I'm like, this could be an alternative way to stem botting, right? Like,
Yeah.
what if this becomes the norm? Like, you have to listen to the artist passionately before you can even go, right? Or not necessarily the norm,
they would
but
figure out how to, but still, like they would. as I hear you say that, they'd figure out how to like loop the same songs or the same whole album over and over and over again. Like you could still bot that yourself if you really wanted to.
It would take more work though.
Yeah, fair. That's not me trying to by any means.
It's okay.
Just being real on it.
I also think it signals something really interesting that, and I'm going to take us on a little journey here, but I'll circle back. Another sign of a company trying to keep your attention within their app, right? They have merch.
Yes.
They have now tickets. They have video. They have extra content. They have the albums. They're trying to keep you in the app as much as possible. And we're seeing that a lot, right? And this is where I zag quickly. You know, like it was just announced The Breakfast Club was premiering now on Netflix for 3 hours on 6 a.m. We talked, or you both talked last week about the YouTube upfronts and how the attention economy, like these companies are fighting for it.
Yeah.
And this is another example, right? Like Netflix making this move to Breakfast Club is showing that they're changing the habits of their users, right? Like you get home from work now, you pop on a show or a movie from Netflix. Now you wake up and you pop on Netflix and you listen to a podcast, right? So they're trying to keep your attention in the app and have you take up more of your day. This is just another small way for Spotify to do exactly that, right?
Yeah.
Own the fan experience all the way through.
And it's, you know, it's what's trippy about it is though all these media brands or these companies are going to be buying talent or buying shows to combat losing market value or market share, the real reality is that they have to reprogram the human habits. It's reprogramming the habits of the human being, of us, not the consumption of a specific show. And yes, you can dangle an artist or a talent as a means to like have a call to action, but if you're not properly refining the habitual experience, it's never going to happen. Right?
Yeah. Well, even let's talk about the Blue Dot issue, right? So how many concerts do you go to a year that you pay for?
One.
Boye, how many concerts do you go to a year that you pay for?
Maybe same. AKA
Wow, that's
like a
actually
festival.
Really low. I pay for a lot of shows.
All right, great.
I go to a lot of shows, and because that's like one of the things I like to do. But I will say that most people don't have that opportunity, right? And so concerts are expensive. They're really expensive with the fees and everything. Just because you tour doesn't mean because touring and music experiences are like the thing of experiences are a thing of culture right now that you're going to sell out. Right. And so part of it's on the promoter. Are you being put in the right venue? Right. And, just because like, I think I saw something with like Kesha, right? Like she wasn't selling out one of the amphitheaters that she was in, right? Like, is Kesha really relevant right now? Like, is it the time? If you're an artist people are talking to, your show will sell out. Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo, you know, on and on about people who are like clamoring to get those tickets, right? People will show up for the things they care about. I think it's the industry's job to like understand timing and how to make those people relevant enough to not have that issue.
Yeah.
Maybe this feature is a way to combat that, but it's still tough. People only have so much discretionary income. I'm
speaking of the money, I'm curious how it's split up. I don't know if they detailed any of the deal making, but I wonder how much, if at all, Spotify participates in these sales.
Oh, I'm sure there's some sort of fee.
Yeah, but is it in that partnership any third party? At that point, Ticketmaster, I guess many of the third parties outside of Live Nation, I would assume, would see Spotify as adversarial at that point, because if you're buying tickets on the platform, then they're taking away market share.
So Spotify already has partnerships with more than 40 ticketing companies, and it's it says it's driven.
So then how is
over.
this different though? Then if they're already doing that, then how is this different?
They're using their data and backend
Got it.
to work with the platforms to then set tickets aside to then give them to
Understood.
said fan. And Spotify's doing this a lot with bands. Like if you listen to this artist and have over 1 billion streams, you're gonna get invited to a special
Got it.
artist. Like they're doing this all day long.
This is
now they're
truly
doing
a
it with
data play.
concerts and tours.
Got it.
Spotify is really good at creating a fan experience. Like that is one thing that they've nailed.
This podcast is brought to you by Spotify,
No
a place
free
where
ads.
you can
No free ads.
This is not that is inaccurate. I just was trying to practice my brand voice.
So let's talk about our next topic. My first question to both of you: do either of you use prediction markets? Kalshi,
I've dabbled.
Polymarket.
I've dabbled.
I don't
Okay.
gamble.
You don't gamble. You've been to Vegas. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but like,
You've done the roulette table, Paul.
okay,
don't
I'm not saying
you?
I never have gambled.
Hold on. There was a tonation. There was the nose went up, and you went. I don't gamble.
I don't gamble.
Like that. You know what? I'm projecting. That was in my brain, but Boye, you heard it, right?
A little
right?
bit. A little bit.
Yeah. You come on. A Boye little bit is a confirmation.
Sorry. Okay, so like in Vegas, occasionally, like I have some play money, but on a daily basis, I don't
Yeah.
make it a habit
Yeah.
to gamble and make bets.
I think
Right.
so. I think prediction markets to me are a little interesting because I like it because it feels like it feels like strategy. It doesn't feel like gameplay. It feels like a strategist's dream to like be able to predict and give hot takes and put their money where their mouth is, right? But and look, we have prediction markets that are becoming more and more popular.
Boy,
Polymarket.
you trying to get who are you trying to get? Kalshi or
Yeah, I was like, wow, the marketing's really worked on.
Polymarket? Kalshi, if you want to sponsor Hot Take Time, you're welcome to do so by all means.
It's not gambling. It's just another kind of gambling.
Yeah.
But let's
Go
so
on.
here's the news of the day for prediction markets, which is there's tension between reality TV and Polymarket. And the reason is people feel that these prediction markets may have actually predicted winners of big TV shows. This came up recently with Survivor 50. So the winner of Survivor 50, Aubrey Bracco, was essentially revealed-ish by prediction markets before the season premiered on February 25th. When the market opened 6 weeks before the premiere, Bracco was already forecast at 61% odds to win, and nearly double her nearest competitors. And then by January 28th, she was at 83%. And on February 28th, just days after the premiere, a single user bet $45,500 on her winning. And then by the finale on May 20th, the market had reached $32.7 million in total volume, and her odds were at 97% to win. And she ended up winning. The same pattern occurred with other shows, like The Masked Singer. That winner was at 91% odds, and Next Level Chef. This is...
You've also seen the announcement about Mr. Beast's editor.
Yes. Yep. That's one. There was also some commotion around the Venezuelan president getting arrested, and someone in the military getting arrested over that as well. So
Really?
What was the Mr. Beast one? I didn't catch that. So
Yeah, for those, that's a great flag, Paul. Essentially, what happened was, Beast has a wide array of some full staff, some independent contractor work done, and everyone's everyone has to sign an NDA. Essentially, what was discovered was the FBI, if I'm not mistaken, FBI or CIA. They basically had discovered that he had been betting on videos that he was editing,
Oh man.
disclosing what would occur on a Mr. Beast video. So, example, fake scenario, betting on Mr. Beast is going to, the next video is going to be about an island.
Yeah.
And if he were to indicate that, so then at that point it's like, and then he just thought he wouldn't get caught.
That's dumb
Yeah.
of him.
Yeah.
This is wild. As a Survivor fan, I heard this and I chose not to believe it because it was wild to me. And then it came true and I was like, well, I knew that. And I felt foolish for not believing it.
So I love Survivor. I watched this season and I have Kalshi. And so I actually saw this and I was like, wait, this is so weird. I saw it in the middle of the season because everyone in that season was hating on Aubrey at the time. And I'm like, what? She's predicted to win and everyone hates her. This can't be true. And now that she's won, I'm like, oh, dang. Like, okay, this is clearly, I don't even want to say rigged because it's not Kalshi or Polymarket's fault. It's people abusing the system. And Jeff Probst actually, he's gone on to talk about it. He says prediction markets platforms are incentivizing people to lie, cheat, and steal to get ahead, he said. They have figured out a way to capitalize on the show. It doesn't sit well with me as a human. Probst also kept on saying, clearly, if 90% of the people are voting for somebody, there is a leak. But to look at us, the producers, as though we have a problem is the mirror pointing in the wrong direction. But honestly, I don't know if the move is to blame the betting markets either, to be honest. When you are on reality TV, you have to sign a bunch of NDAs. And so my question is, how can they enforce that? Right? That I think I actually might point the mirror back at Jeff and be like, hey, yeah, I get it, but you got to keep a tight lip on people. And where's the repercussion? Because it's probably possible to track who's placing these bets, right, and how they got this information.
Yeah. On the other hand, I think Survivor is a one-off kind of example because this year specifically, as you saw, Boye, they did it live. And so there was a long period of 8 months or something where the contestants left the island, came back, and had to wait for the results.
Yeah.
So my question is just like the Oscars or whatnot, where do they keep the votes and how secure are they? And there's a lot of months that it may, or a lot of people's hands it may touch. I'm sure they could track some of that. I could see the other pre-taped reality shows, competition shows having leaks because there's just so many people. But I'm surprised with Survivor because I feel like there's probably a small amount of people. But also, what's stopping me working on the show, getting the information, giving it to Chris giving it to someone else to put on Polymarket or Kalshi so that you're enough distance away. How are they going to know that, I'm friends with so-and-so and whatnot? Yeah.
I still believe that it is on the market itself, the product. That and the government, ultimately what needs to happen is there needs to be legislation. Ultimately, there needs to be, we need to remind ourselves, let's look at Love Island. Love Island is a perfect example of a show that films live, and in order to not have leaks occur, or they film the show live, they put the episode out literally within days of actually filming it. They have all of the talent, or all the talented contestants, whatever we want to call them, that show up or are on the show, living under 40 plus days without their phone. They are completely removed from civilization or from what they know. Unless there's an emergency, they have the ability to family members and individuals have the ability to get messages back by way of the producers. But that is, they do take, there are shows that do take some of those precautions.
But not every show can do that, right? So
completely agree.
What's the fix here?
It's not allowed on the market.
Yeah, right. So categories are going to be banned.
Exactly.
Or
Minnesota's already banned prediction markets.
Okay. What do you think, Boye? I mean, do you feel strongly about it?
About Minnesota or in general?
Well,
That's right. For those that don't know, our homeboy, our man, what am I trying to say? our home Minnesota boy,
he's from Minnesota. There
there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
There's a guy. There was snow. It was cold. I was trying to tell
I think Minnesota in general is going through it right now. So I don't know. I feel like to go.
This is his pitch to get his family to move. Are you trying to get your parents to move out of Minnesota?
They already have a nice little setup, but I feel like for the prediction market's sake, I hope it's not sort of the canary in the coal mine and other states start doing this. But I don't know. Again, like
I think that is going to happen. I think I do think that's going to happen.
Or let me throw out an alternative. And it's not my fault if this happens, just, warning. They ban it in markets where the crew lives. So, like, I could see high employment rates. So, like, Survivor probably employs a lot of people in Los Angeles or Fiji, right? And so they ban them in those markets, right? Or, like, hey, we're shooting, Next Level Chef in New Zealand, in LA. We're gonna ban those markets, right?
Right.
I don't know. I could see that being an in between, but who knows? Because as a fan, I don't like to get these things spoiled. But also as a fan, maybe I can take advantage of it, knowing that it usually is correct.
But you also need to take into account is the fact that these prediction markets are also competitors to sports betting apps.
Right.
So when you have DraftKings, FanDuel, Prize Picks, Underdog, they are already I don't want to say at war, but they're already heavily lobbying with Congress around the territories that they're allowed to show up in. Mm-hmm. You better believe that they are not aiding prediction markets capabilities, and if anything, are hammering that they get
they love the Minnesota
because this is strict competition for them. Because the amount of ads that we're seeing about Kalshi alone and Polymarket for that matter on TikTok, the amount of ads being paid for, it's insane. I don't know if there are. We should poll them which territories the markets are currently available on, because I know that California specifically just released some legislation to disable sports betting.
That'd be awesome,
specific types of sports betting.
Well, right now, prediction markets are legally available to residents in all 50 states except for Minnesota. But this was a quick AI search, so maybe it doesn't have all the information. Yeah. One thing before we enter the next topic, though, that I do want to mention, just to make sure we understand, Survivor is not shot live. They did the reunion and final episode live, but Survivor is pre-taped. So just so there's no confusion.
It was the first time they've done this live show finale in many years since pre-COVID.
They used to do it all.
That was a big switch.
They used to do it all the time, but when they made the season shorter, one of the things to go was the live reveal.
Also, what was the big snafu that happened though? Let's take Kalshi aside. The Jeff Probst
with the fire
he just
thing.
Messed up on stage.
There was a huge big mistake, right? They revealed they did it totally out of order, and they thought that they had already shared the show package or whatever.
Yeah, they basically Rizzo, aka the Riz God, that's how he goes by.
We lost you. We lost you there for a second. Say it one more time.
Rizzo, one of the characters or contestants, he also goes by Riz God, Rizgod. He's actually one of my favorite characters, but he lost in fire. And Jeff brought him out, did a little interview, and he's like, yeah, you can go sit by the jury, which is where all the losers go sit. And we hadn't seen the fire competition yet to see him lose. And everyone was like, oh no. But honestly, I don't think it's Jeff's fault, right? Like, that's a producer in the back sending Rizzo out too early, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jeff's in the back. He's not watching the episode. It's hard. You're like playing to the audience, keeping the run of show, also like talking about what's happening in real time with the episode they're showing. It's a tall order to kind of do that. And a lot of people had to mess up for that to happen.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it didn't hurt Survivor. It only made it more viral. Like afterwards,
agreed.
it was everywhere.
Embracing
anything, it
failures,
helped
baby.
it. Yeah.
Embracing
and
failures.
Probst being the A+ host he is, just
Yeah.
handled it.
Also,
like a
when
champ.
it's your first year out the gate, it makes sense why a mistake like that would happen. So
yeah.
All right.
everyone's gonna let that fall. Isn't it like number 50 anniversary? Like, come on, guys, are we listening to me? The first time you do this, the first year, come on. What is the anniversary? How many years is
50,
Survivor been
Survivor
going now?
50.
25. Yeah, 20.
That 50
Wow.
episodes. I don't know how many years, but
20. Well, they do 2 a year, so.
Damn.
they didn't always do 2 a year.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
Get on your shit, probes. That's all I'm saying. Get on your shit.
all right.
love you.
So
Yeah.
some executives are sending AI replicas of themselves to meetings. The Wall Street Journal reported on a small but growing number of executives who have created AI replicas of themselves, aka digital twins, to take on various jobs. This WSJ headline: "Too much work to do? Have your digital twin handle it." It talks about a lot of things, and we should dive in a little bit. The funny thing for me is this reminded me of Severance. I don't know if you guys have watched Severance, and it's a little different because Severance is more about getting an implant and having your actual self work different times of the day, whereas this is AI agents. But this could become a thing, right? And I think it's kind of interesting.
Can we just do a temp check how we all feel about this? Because I feel Chris like seizing up here and like.
It's just the way you introduced it, Boye. Like, what did you were like, it was something, you said something to the effect of, well, what was the first sentence? Can you repeat the first sentence?
The
It
Wall
just
Street
totally
Journal
triggered me.
reported a small but growing number of executives who have created AI replicas of themselves.
Yeah, but prior to that, you said something about like sending your replica to a meeting.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like, don't fucking send your replica to our meeting. Okay. That's like, you know what that is? That's like emailing me and asking me to hang out and then sending me a Calendly link to do it. Like, you want my time? Go fuck yourself. Like I'm not about it.
By the way,
you want my time?
That's one of Chris's
Don't
biggest
send me a
pet peeves,
Calendly link.
The Calendly.
So we know how Chris feels about
Oh, I mean, I don't mind an AI agent handling things like my emails or what have you, but like if I'm gonna have an actual interaction with
yeah,
you,
I agree.
like all you're saying is, okay, let's have both of our agents handle this task. That doesn't mean don't send your like hologram. The way it read sounded like it's like sending it a hologram.
Well, it could. I think this is another thing. Like file it under. This could be a bad thing and a good thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, if it helps your work-life balance and it
Right.
makes you feel at ease to unplug, all for it. If you're going to abuse it and show up to personal meetings in an impersonal way, not about it.
It's, you know what's scary about that is that it's going, hot take, hot prediction. That'll be the new elevation, or that'll be like the new flex.
Yeah.
The ability, if you're Mark Cuban, you only have so much time in the day. And you're like, okay, you want time with me? Great. I've spent X amount of dollars to download my brain or download myself to replicate myself. Here's your time. That AI is going to, my agent or my AI is going to help divulge to me all the things that I should prioritize, no different than an executive would do on your team. But it's yourself.
Well, it's funny.
That's
It's
crazy.
funny. It's funny you say that because Reid Hoffman, one of the founders of LinkedIn, does this. He has, I don't know if he does it for meetings, but he actually does it for something I think is a little bit more touchy. He's got Reid AI. That's his digital twin. It's trained on 22 years of his books, speeches, podcasts, and articles, and it's delivered more than 75 addresses and presentations since its launch in 2024. And he mostly uses it for...
That's like, fuck you.
He mostly
Fuck
uses
you.
it for appearances and media interviews, not quite meetings, but I don't know. It's when I hear that though, it's kind of like it feels a little. It's just like tech guy doing tech things.
Yeah, no, totally. It's he's trying to prove a market or prove a thing, so he's putting himself on the front lines. I guess, Boye, I'm curious. You are, I mean, most people don't see this. You and I have been friends for a long time, and I do see this side of you. You are a hardworking individual. A lot of times you are working on the weekends, you're working late at night, you're working early in the mornings. You know, you're trying to create space for family. Does this ring a bell for you in a positive way? How is this exciting to you?
I see the opportunity for AI to help me become more personal, not more impersonal, right? So I think, there's a saying where, do the 20%, focus on the 20% that gives the best returns for the business. And I think that's a smart sort of thing to do just for everything people do. And for me, and I would argue to say a lot of people, it's being personal, it's connecting with people, it's talking to people, it's communication. And so when I'm working so much, that part actually can suffer. So I like the idea of using AI and AI agents for the menial things, for all of the tasks and the boring things. But to get into meetings and speeches even and interviews, I feel like that's the not only the fun part, but that's the most rewarding part. So I just
also let it be known, Reid Hoffman's written 6 books.
Yeah, I was about
that's
to
a huge
say
fucking.
that's a huge library to give to an AI. It's like saying, oh, this video software works amazing on this top tier MacBook Pro, right?
Yeah.
But what about for the rest of the systems, right? As your Apple reference.
Yeah.
Right.
Also for him to say 22 years, 6 books, it's okay, we get it. All right. Go buy my books.
But what happens? Does it work as well as you want it to work for someone who doesn't have that history of content to feed to an AI algorithm and LLM, right? It's so you, Boye, or Chris, none of us have written books for as far as we know. Boye has written some articles, and maybe an LLM could glean his POV based on how he writes, but I haven't done that. So what am I giving to this AI bot?
You're on this podcast, Paul.
Yeah, well, hey, but I'm saying can you trust these to do the work you need to do, and how much of it is going to be homework to having to monitor the thing? Also,
something to take into consideration when you write a book. Typically, your POV changes over the years, right?
Totally.
All the especially if it's a self-help or a how-to book.
But he's got 6 of them.
Oh God! by the way, and I'm going to be a total asshole because I also, who the fuck am I? He's co-founder of Netflix, but his book titles are Super Agency. Super Agency, What Could Possibly Go Right with Our AI Future. That's the latest book. 2023, Impromptu, Amplifying Our Humanity Through AI. Master of Scale, Surprising Truths from the World's Most Successful Entrepreneurs. I've actually read that one. It's great. Blitz Scaling, The Lightning Fast Path to Building Massively Valuable Companies. That was 2018. The Alliance, Managing Talent in the Networked Age. And then The Startup of You. Adapt to the future, invest in yourself, and transform your career. They're all very different viewpoints. How do those all congeal into one agent?
That's for AI to tell you.
Yeah. But I think
Reid AI.
When you're yeah, there you go. But when you educate, if you haven't gone through the process of educating an LLM, or if you haven't done that yet, any of our listeners, it's a trial and error. Also, a lot of the times when you overfeed it information, it can constantly contradict itself. And so if you don't properly give it the programmatic necessary, you have to have very clear needs. Too much anecdote will actually confuse it.
I mean, look, let's see if this catches on or not.
Yeah.
I think it's a flashy thing by a guy who spends his life doing these.
Yeah.
In this world, and I'd be curious to know. I mean, they say only a few execs have done this, but I'd be curious to see if this is a widely adopted thing.
I do think that another hot take, we'll put it on the board. I do believe that there will be we will be able to purchase AI assistants that are in the essence of Steve Jobs, or kind of when you think of.
Sure,
I'm not even trying to jest. Like truly, like they'll be specifically formulated by an AI assistant meant to like do specific remedial work, but in the essence of Steve Jobs. You won't get Steve Jobs, but they'll price it at a point no different than Gucci shoes. It'll become more of like, this is what you can have at the price of.
Yeah.
Can we farm a bunch of Steve Jobs bots and see if they'll come up with the next iPod for us?
Oh God, that'd be so cool.
I also,
Or it'd be exhausting.
just to add to your hot take, I feel that this actually could become a thing for A-list celebrities, like actors, actresses, musicians. But I think we're all going to hate it. So,
I already hate it.
Listen, it's guys, it's masterclass. It's extreme masterclass.
Yeah.
Right. Difference is that you get a one-on-one session.
yeah, with
And what they'll probably do is they'll do it as a subscription. So you have to pay for it for a certain, and you get access to it for a certain period of time.
Why don't you build that? Come on.
I've thought about it, if I'm being honest.
Let's go.
I just don't have the library.
you don't have $6,
If you have
Chris?
the library.
All right,
I don't know
so
what, $6 is that you said?
$6.
Yeah, no.
So let's do our new segment. Today we got a little voice note from Lindsay. Lindsay's one of your friends, right, Paul?
Yeah. Friend of the pod.
All right. Let's see what she has for us today.
Hi, this is Lindsay, and I'm a reality TV producer, so the culture market is interesting for me. But what I want to know is, we've had NDAs for contestants, for crew, forever. So why aren't those NDAs being enforced, especially in this prediction market?
Pertinent question. I think it's a great question. I kind of brought that up earlier. One thing I will say, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with Reality Steve. He's a big sort of talking head person, and his whole shtick is revealing Bachelor, Bachelorette, now other reality TV show like contestants and like what's going to happen. And he's usually right. And so to me, even before prediction markets, this seems to have been an issue where outside people were getting this information. And it's like, how are they getting this information? And what's incentivizing these people to want to leak this information? So that's kind of why I was saying earlier, I do kind of think it's on the production. It's like, you guys stem the leaking.
Yeah.
But then is it on them to be sued? I mean, complication here, as much as we want to say it's on the production, let's also take into account the same way in which you look at like production for a scripted Marvel movie, right? You can't, sometimes they're doing it on purpose. I have to imagine like when you're using Tom Holland to make a mistake, quote unquote, about a leak, that's one thing. Or there's actual true real mistakes. Just like unscripted, people that are huge fans of these shows, when they know that a show is in production and a talent has been sent home early and they just happen to be spotted getting matcha in Timbuktu, right? Like, how do you not know that they've been voted off the island early?
I think it's well, I won't go into that. Yes.
I meant it more in. I meant it more in theory.
So I guess this is easier said than done. Obviously, it's hard to trace where the culprit may have come from, right? Because I could be on the show, but tell a friend 3 degrees down what it is and how would they ever find out, right? But at the same time, taking Survivor as an example, all those votes go in a jar and the jar gets brought somewhere. How many people touch that? Is it in a lockbox? Where is the security around it? I'm sure there's maybe a handful of people that see that, right? So I'm sure you can kind of narrow it down.
Right.
But is it the legal team to then go play investigators like the FBI or something to go figure out who leaked this on the prediction market before the season even airs? It's definitely really hard to reinforce NDAs in general, right? Sometimes I'm like, why do we even have them if they're so hard to reinforce? But I think there just needs to be better policing all around, right? Are you blocking prediction markets from certain employees' phones? Or again, there's a lot of things they could do, but I don't know if that would help.
Well, okay, well, let's look at sports for just 2 seconds. With sports, there is a very clear market in sports betting. The platforms or the marketplaces are all sent the standard rates or the ratios for betting, and they place those, or they allow people to place bets specifically on what has been circulated. Similarly, it's on, prediction markets have to be able to safeguard what is and is not allowed to be bet on.
Yeah, and I wonder if these apps will give over data to some, like if, say, CBS was to go and get the police involved or the FBI and they do a big investigation, if the apps would be like, so-and-so placed this initial bet, and then they could work backwards.
I like that.
Right?
I like that solution.
But would it actually work because data and privacy? Who knows? But
You could, because
Thank
you'd
you,
have to
Lindsay,
sign it
for
off.
that.
You'd have to sign off on that. Yeah, thanks, Lindsay.
Yeah, you could, right? As a user, you could say that, like, when you make a bet, you are saying you are assigning the right to be searched and investigated, right, as needed, and then it's only certain flags, right, like the person who made that $45,000 bet, right, so on and so forth. But I
actually think it's a brilliant idea because it would probably clean up a lot of it would help safeguard the racketeering that goes on in those markets.
well, if any studio wants to hire me to come up with cool, brilliant ideas, I'm here.
He's an ideas guy.
All right, guys. Well, good up today. Thanks for joining us, Paul. It was fun to talk about all the things. Definitely catch us next week. Like and subscribe wherever you get podcasts. Chris Boye and Paul over and out.
Peace.
Thank you.